Peter Loescher is Siemens Chief Executive Officer. He joins us now. Wonderful to have you on the program, Mr. Loescher. So you have decided to cut your full-year profit forecast. What's the main reason why?
The main reason are really the charges what we had to book for our grid connection projects in Germany.
Okay, tell us about the progress on those grid connection projects. What you're having trouble with is putting these offshore wind turbines onto the power grid. Is there any progress there?
Indeed, first of all, these are really pioneering projects. No other company has ever implemented this size and this complexity, a grid access project, basically up to 160 kilometers off the shoreline. So we have clearly underestimated the complexity of it. This is a pioneering project. We have identified the issues. We have a new leadership team in place. Unfortunately, we had to book the charges, so the team is working on it. And I'm quite optimistic that now everything is clearly in focus. But we cannot expect miracles, and we will learn as we go. And this is, unfortunately, a very bitter learning experience of our first 4 projects. But there are much more of these type of projects coming online the next couple of years, and these projects will then benefit from our first hiccup of this very complex project.
So you mentioned that you've got a new leadership team in place. Indeed, you have just announced a new head of your power transmission unit. Tell me, did you ask the previous head of that division, Udo Niaj, to leave because of poor performance?
No, Udo will actually continue to be a key player in what is called the German Energiewende, so he will really be the key person and point person in our interface with agencies, with regulatory authorities, and with government in terms of ensuring that we reduce the complexity of these type of projects, that we simplify the regulatory environment for this type of projects, and therefore for us the opportunity for scale and for faster access. And this will be the key task of Udo going forward.
Now, Siemens has had historically volatile earnings. This has been its reputation. Your reputation, though, has been that you've stabilized these earnings. But now you are cutting a profit forecast. This must be quite a blow.
I mean, we always called the first outlook what we gave for the year in terms of profit forecast a very ambitious one. If you remember, we gave the forecast in November last year at the height of the crisis in Europe. But we also wanted to give a clear signal in terms of confidence. At that time, it was realistic, but highly ambitious, and unfortunately we had to book the charges. But let's not forget, I mean, last year Siemens, for the first time in the history of our company, is actually earning 3 times our capital costs. So even the new target what we set out there is something which the team is working towards, and we are clearly focusing on profitable capital efficient growth, and this is what the main task and direction of the new Siemens is.
So what can you give investors that will encourage them, that will reassure them? Have you got anything for them on the Osram IPO? When might that happen?
The Osram flotation is clearly on track, so we are ready. Siemens is ready. We're waiting for a market window to really make it happen. So this is clearly what we anticipate to do. And when you look into our revenue environment of 9%, so the growth story of Siemens is clearly intact. So Siemens is focusing on the right markets. We see actually short cycle businesses holding up extremely well with very high single-digit growth. Our healthcare business is doing very well. Infrastructure business and the infrastructure sector has just started. So I would say the pillars also of the energy agenda, apart from this very unfortunate event in terms of power generation, and the fossil business had a terrific quarter. So the underlying broad-based capital-efficient growth initiative of Siemens are in the implementation phase, and I feel rather confident that the teams are working on it, and we will do everything what we can that 2012 will be another good year for our shareholders.
How about divestitures and also acquisitions? Do you think you might sell your hearing aids business again? What about any major acquisitions on the horizon?
Actually, just in this quarter alone, we have really implemented two major ones in terms of focused and targeted acquisitions. We have just acquired and broadened our IT business for the industrial automation, for the digital manufacturing environment. We have also acquired a company for the further build out of the subsea electrification market, so subsea grid infrastructure development programs in the oil and gas industry. So we are clearly focusing on markets and on add-on acquisitions. So the acquisition agenda is focused. It has to live up to the hurdle rates, what we set to our shareholders, and we will continue to look out for additional incremental opportunities apart from our clear focus of organic growth. But the hearing aids are clearly not on our agenda.
Not on the agenda. You're in Munich, but I understand, Mr. Loescher, that you're a Barcelona fan. My producers and I want to know who you're going to support now that they're out of the competition for the Champions League.
I mean, I have seen the game last night. I'm just devastated if you compare the type of play what Barcelona played versus who won eventually. So my clear favorite is Bayern Munich, and I hope they will make it and that we will have a terrific home game. And if the Bayern team is actually holding up to its force, what they're able to do, this would be my big wish for the final of the Champions League.
Well, that is some pep talk if they're listening now. Thank you very much, Peter Loescher there, the Siemens CEO.